What's up, everybody? Do muscle. Here it is, the Musclecast. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna do a typical intro of what I usually do to roll out this Musclecast, and it's only because the last one I tried to do it was just a hot mess. All right. One, the quality was terrible, and I did not know that my mic setting was messed up in the first place because I thought my settings were fine. And when I do my Musclecast, I use a different program because it could record longer programs um, in regards to doing podcasting and such, and other future stuff that I like doing. That's longer than my 15-minute 2-second videos. And so with that, I didn't. I thought the settings were already set, but didn't realize that that's actually my first podcast on my new computer. So I didn't actually set up the mic properly. I just assumed it was already set, and I should have double checked that. But now here I am. Yeah, so that was a hot mess. And then when I actually try to roll music in that shouldn't have, I guess, got into the eyes of. It wasn't really copyright protection, but it did alert me, and I had to either completely remove it or just mute the music part of it in the intro of my video, my podcast. And so it muted it for the duration of that one particular song because it was like a mix. And that whole podcast was a mix. I mean, a hot mess. And so episode 38 was just a mess. And you know what? For the views that I got on it right here, you can see 18 views. It's not bad considering it was the first one on YouTube. And I already got more subs on this than I ever did on the other service that I was putting out uncensored content on, which was, let's see, over here, BitChute. I only have 6 subs here. I got more views overall, but that was something I picked up over time. And so, for some reason, episode 29, I don't know what is going on with episode 29. I would have to rewatch that one to see, or re-listen to that one just to see what was going on in that one. That one, I got a lot of views on that one. I don't know why. And I know it's a slightly shorter one. I had to cut it at 45 minutes. Something happened on that one. I don't know why I had to cut it to 45 minutes. So I followed episode 29 with episode 30, where I made it up to 15 minutes there, see? So an hour and 15 minutes on that one, just to make up. Because I intended for these podcasts to run at least an hour long. And it's supposed to be in an uncensored environment of sorts. And so it's just one of those things where, I say what I would say. I mean, I pretty much do it anyways. But the whole idea of it here was to just be completely uncensored of everything, even music. And even trying to do that, it's really hard to garner an audience outside of YouTube. It's just because YouTube is the biggest, and when it comes to exposure out there in the space, it completely dominates the whole video sharing, video streaming sort of scene. And so in a way you could say it's because they are the first of the dance, right? Back in I think they came out 2006 or something like that with YouTube. And so being that they've been around the longest in terms of what they do, they could do whatever they want to do, and they completely dominate the scene. And so all we can do is play along and be nice and play along on their playground. Or if you're not on their playground at all, on the largest video sharing service there is, well, shit, man, because the other alternatives don't come close to what they do. And that's just my opinion, but it's just what we see, evidently. And so, yeah, so going back to the first one here, it was terrible. I don't want to take it down, it's just because I wanted to make it a point that when I said I intended to put something up, I put it out there. And I actually did put out 1 hour long content of putting that out there as I intended to. It's just I didn't know the mic was messed up. So if you could listen through all that, great. But it's a part of history, and I don't like taking videos down because it's just part of history. I'm that kind of person that I don't take my videos down. I'm not some bitch like Tiwi and stuff like that, and other guys like Clover who take down videos all the time just because of, I don't know why. I tell you the truth, I don't know why some people do what they do, but I don't do that stuff, and so I leave it out there for historical perspective. All right, and that's why I'll just leave it there. As much as I do want to take that down and be like, man, I got to do a redo, but it's just too much trouble to want to redo it. I don't even know if I could even bring up the quality of that video and redo it all over again. But all I could do is just follow up with something better, which is this time around. And then next time around, when I'm doing my podcast, Musclecast, then I'll try to reintroduce music elements, and hopefully it doesn't attract any sort of music copyright crossing type stuff. I didn't think I did until that came out. I was like, what? And it didn't knock on me for anything. It just said that either I got to remove it or mute it, and that's it. So I just had it muted, and that's what happened there. So it was a little bit of silence for, I don't know, a couple minutes until that song played out, and that was it. And that's actually pretty cool when you think about it, that they can actually go through your video and just mute that part of it out. That's kind of cool, you know. That's how technology is these days, I guess. And so, yeah, so this is where it's at, Musclecast episode 39. All right, and you know, I still want to keep along the lines of that 1 hour show, and also on this channel, the Metal Muscle Show, right? It's also going to be home of my, Muscle Stream, live stream. I haven't given an official name yet, but Musclecast live stream, something like that. I don't know. We'll see. But home of the stream is coming pretty soon. I think I finally able to nail down how I'm going to do it. It's just a matter of when. And for me, I think the best day for me to do it is like a Friday morning type of deal if I'm able to get the live stream going. And I'll see how that thing goes, Friday morning. And I'll do it in a similar fashion, 1 hour format. I'll leave it open to all visitors that want to come in and chime in if they choose to. And whether it's chatting in the chat portion while we're live, or if they will actually want to come on as a guest and speak their piece, speak their mind, and I'm not going to censor that. If you hate me, you hate me. All I got to say is bring the heat. And if you don't, and you love me, well, cool. That's good shit. And then we can shoot the shit then. We'll smash on other people. How about that, But that's what I'm going to do to open it all up completely. And I'm not that kind of guy either, just because you don't like it, I'm not going to air you out. Shit, I'll let you speak your piece. I don't care if you say and utter bad and vicious feelings about me. What am I going to do, cry? What am I going to do? Just hang you up? Come on. We're real people here, and if you don't have the skin to handle that sort of thing, then you shouldn't even be doing this at all, right? That's just how it is. And so, I mean, I have thick enough skin. If you guys know what I do for a living, all right, um, it's one of those things where you gotta have thick skin. Because if you don't have thick skin, then ooh, you're in the wrong profession, you know. And so you gotta be able to handle the heat. You gotta be handle the insults. You gotta handle good, bad, ugly of everything in my profession. And so having a thick skin is one thing, and just an open mind in general is another thing just to have in my line, in my profession. And so when I'm doing my videos or the streams or the Musclecast type stuff, well, I've been saying it all along. I'm a shoot style kind of guy, and I just say what comes to mind, and as simple as that. And some people like it, right? And some people don't. And what can I say? I'm gonna have hurt feelings because some people don't like me. I mean, what am I? Who am I? Like, yeah, it's like I don't give a shit. And so that brings me to the point of, I mean, how many shitty YouTubers are there out there, right? Matty Crypto. All right, all of a sudden he wants to do 5 to 10 minute videos talking about the news that's going on in crypto, and he's going to shoot it straight, shoot style. It's like, I wonder where he got that from, because I've been saying this all along. I've been doing it all along, and all of a sudden you're going to say it like that. I mean, that kind of sounds like the pages from my playbook, right? And yeah, it's just funny, And when I saw that bullshit from a shitty YouTuber, right? You know why? You're grasping for content, dude. And that's the thing about you is when people grasp, right? They're grasping. They're just trying to find something because they got nothing else to talk about. So they're just trying to just do something to keep themselves busy and somewhat relevant, even though they're not relevant anyways because they're garbage. Then that's what they do, right? They're just grasping, trying to just do a reach around. All right, come on, dude. That wasn't even your thing because you were talking about bullshit cash effects, right? And we all know it's been bad for a long time, but you won't say it. And then all of a sudden, you start turning towards Hex, which is fine. I mean, it had a nice run in the beginning, ran up, right? And then you started to go into stupid stuff like pulse chain this, pulse chain that, Richard this, Richard's nuts, Richard Hearts. Let me wax your balls for you, and let me handle them nicely because you just love sucking his balls all the time. And it's like when you go down and dig down to it, there's only so much you could talk about with Hex. There's only so much you could talk about with pulse chain, and then you're gonna run out of stuff to talk about. And so that's exactly what happened. Because it has not launched, there's really nothing to talk about, right? But you run yourself down that rabbit hole of Hex and Pulse Chain, dedicated videos to that. Remember Climbing Crypto? What happened to Climbing Crypto? When you just completely focus on arbitraging and arbitraging went out of business, where is Climbing Crypto now? Nowhere to be seen because that's all he did was pigeonhole himself, rabbit hole himself down the arbitraging hole without any other sort of content. What do you expect? You think arbitrage is going to last around forever? No. And so that's why Climbing Crypto is trash and gone. And so when you have Matty Crypto pigeonholing himself into Pulse Chain, and now you got nothing to talk about because it hasn't launched like it's supposed to for months now. What are you going to do, right? You can't talk good things about it if it's been a disappointment and delayed launches week after week after week. So you start doing all kinds of bullshit stuff to grasp, right? Reach, right? Because you're so full of shit. All right, so what's going on? How about talk about what's going on with that bullshit NFT project, Letheus, right? More waxing Richard Hart's balls with that project, right? Oh, the Hex King, right? How's that bullshit doing, right? Last I checked, NFTs and all that has been bad, right? It's been a bad time right now in crypto when it comes to NFTs and all that, right? The last I checked, OpenSea had to do layoffs of 20%. That's a pretty big chunk of their workforce. 20% of their workforce? That's pretty big, right? But that's a sign of how bad things are with NFTs right now, that I think without you giving your updates on your piece of shit project, that Letheus, aka I'm sucking on Richard Hart's nuts, right, is a failed piece of shit NFT project, and that's why you're not talking about it. Because where's the updates about it? What's the progress about it? It's such a disappointment, right, that you don't want to talk about it. Because that's what you do, right? When things are bad and shit hits the fan, what do? You don't even talk about it. And that's been your MO from the very beginning, right? You didn't talk about what happened with arbitrage. You didn't talk about what happened with cash effects. You definitely didn't talk about Pulse Chain and the delays in Pulse Chain, and you know you're full of shit. So that leads me to think that Matty Crypto is trash. Alright? And so that's what I'm tired of. Bullshit people like him in this space. Alright? And I don't care about the quirky intros. I have a quirky intro myself. But when you start saying shit and you don't back up your shit, then you're full of shit. So that's just something to think about. Trash. Piece of shit. Right? And just think about it for a second. Alright? What have you done in this space? Nothing. Right? All you've shown me is how you've jumped from ICOs to ICOs and all the way down to the arbitrage, and then you jump to the cash effects. Good move, right? And you talked about how great it was. Oh man, a 70K package. Then after that, it's been crickets. But what about all the stuff that's been going on with cash effects? But you don't talk about that, right? You were so on to the cash effects nuts, right? Huascar's nuts. Remember you called him NASCAR Lopez and all this other bullshit stuff, right? You were so on to his nuts for so long, and how great it is, you and Griffey. And then what happens? I don't know. You just stop talking about it altogether, right? When shit hits the fan, once again, that's what you do, right? And what happened to, oh man, how great this is, and oh man, in year 2 of the project, I want to be talking about this week after week. And after like a couple weeks of that went away real quick. Just like you're gonna do Pulse Chain podcast every week, right? And it stopped at episode 7. Wow, man. That's how much full of shit Matty Crypto is. And if I finally get my live stream on, I hope you come on and we could debate about this, because I'll smash you, dude. I hope Tiwi comes on, man. I'll just destroy him once again, like I destroyed him. Oh, by the way, Tiwi took down that site now. Come on, dude. I talked about it in my weekly annihilation of the Money Tree Drip Rect Collaboration weekly update. Week after week after week. You know what it is because see how these guys run circles with each other? Right? Circle jerks with each other. Maddie, Tiwi. I mean, they're garbage. And they run circle jerks with each other. Right? Inside Adam's hole. And all they're doing is running themselves into irrelevance because they're garbage, right? I mean, come on. I mean, Tiwi now took down the site. I mean, you know that it may very well be over. I wouldn't be surprised if he no longer posts any updates in that Telegram group. I would not be surprised because that's just par for the course. A trash piece of shit YouTubers like them. Well, former YouTuber, because he's not even on it no more. He's a little bitch, right? And I mean, the list keeps going on and on, right? It's funny how these same guys are in the same circles with each other, circle jerks with each other, right? Let's see here. I did a video on Paulinier earlier, but I'm not trying to talk about that right now. Let's go jump over to, let's see here, what's going on over here with Swap Tracker here. Right, this is one of those believer projects, right? Holy shit! Oh man, it went up 6%. You know why? Because the market is up right now. That doesn't count. So here's this garbage project here, Growth DeFi, right? Another garbage crypto dude is Clover, right? Same circles with each other. It's funny how they all roll in the same circles with each other, right? And it's funny how Clover took down his intro video on this hyper trash, right? Introducing the project and all that stuff, and I wonder why. Why? He kind of alluded to in his second video about it that he was booted out of the project. Well, it was said that he was booted out, and he said, no, I was not booted out, but I don't know. When there's smoke, there's fire, and to me, when there's that kind of smoke, that fire is true, alright? He got booted from the project, whether he wants to admit it or not, and he's trying to say, why would I, kick myself out of my own project, blah, blah, blah. Shut up, dude. This dude hasn't had a win since BitConnect, alright? When you look at all the stuff that he's been in, all that stuff's been trash. Alright? When he went into Moonberg, right? Arbitrage, Moonberg, all that stuff, it all failed. Every one of those things he went into. Come on, if he was a trader for Moonberg, alright? If you're going to entrust yourself to Clover as a trader on Moonberg, oh man, then you are in some crypto trash. I mean, you can't put it in any other way to entrust yourself with having Clover as your trader in Moonberg. That is really grasping right there, and even allowing yourself to let someone of a Clover do trading on your behalf, right? Because remember how Moonberg offered the automatic bot trading, and then the trading part where you can put your money in with their traders, right? So they had Clover, they had a guy named Trader X, who, by the way, stole their crypto, which is kind of funny. I'm going to take a swig of this here. Grape Raspberry Sparkling Ice. See? Sparkling ice. Zero sugar, vitamins, antioxidants. It's a flavored sparkling water. One of the best flavored sparkling waters there are out there in the market. Only 5 calories, probably because of the flavoring to it, right? But it's just sparkling water. And it's pretty damn good too. So, like I was saying, the old Moonberg story goes with the trader was, I think, I'm going to say about 3 to 4 traders. Trader X was like their best guy. They had Clover in there. and a couple other people, right? And the funniest thing was that Trader X dude collected the crypto from the people that entrusted him to be his trader or their trader, and he took their money and left. He just left and told Tobias, "Thank you, I'll see you later," right? And just left him. And man, that really rocked Moonberg. That was actually really funny. That's one of those old stories that you don't hear about in crypto anymore. But if you were around back then, it was a funny, somewhat shocking revelation, right? That happened, and I watched it all unfold. If you were part of my old channel, um, that stuff I covered. I covered the chronicles of all this stuff that was happening as it happened, and I actually have all my content from my first channel onwards to my second channel. And so when you look at the combination of these two channels, and then of course my podcast channel is now my third channel, but my other two channels I had for YouTube, or I have one now, and then I had one in the past. Despite what happened, oh shit, it's been a year, huh? Since it's been a year since um, the launch of my second channel. Wow, I'm gonna have to parlay that into a regular day. I want to pick I gotta figure out what the date was, and go from there. But yeah, um, it was just actually. It didn't even occur to me now. That's already been about a year since I started my now second channel on YouTube. And so, yeah, so from first to second channel, I continued it on continuously as if nothing happened, and it's just continuing on, right? No reboot, no reset, no volume 2 type of deal. It's just continuous. So now, between the two channels, since July 2019, I have now, 3,040 videos, right? And a lot of them are 4 videos a day. I know it's crazy, right? Um, but yeah, a lot of it is 4 videos a day. I mean, I do 2 to 4 videos a day. I kind of found my gimmick when compared to when I first started. I was trying to find myself and find what my identity was going to be in this space. Like, what would set me out to be who I am, right? Of course, my personality is something that's created in this thing, and I kind of let loose just a little bit more compared to what I was in the very beginning, because I'm trying to just kind of get comfortable doing this. And as time went on, how I am now is pretty much how I am almost from the very beginning. Not since the very beginning, but almost. And and finding my ways, right? I figured it out. Oh, I need to do 2 to 4 videos a day. I figured that out. The 15 minute 2-second videos, kind of found out, well, that's the limitations of my software, and it just kind of played along with my gimmick, and I was like, you know what? It's not too long and it's not too short. For some people, right? 'Cause you lose people after a certain amount of time sometimes. And when you really think about it too, sometimes 15 minute 2 seconds is not enough to cover everything you want to talk about, but I'd rather leave it that way than to try to come up with something to fill time all the time. So that's why I felt like 15-minute, 2-second videos are actually not. It's not a bad time frame, I guess you could say, in terms of having that content made. And so I was like, okay, so I have that. I have 2 to 4 videos a day. How many days am I going to do this? Am I going to do this every day? How am I going to do this? So as I was going day to day, since I first started, I was figuring out, man, I really like doing this, and I can't help myself but to do it every day, and so that's why I do it every day. Um, and I look at it as a nice, lucrative second job type of thing, and I really like it a lot, and that's why I do 2 to 4 videos a day, and it's 7 days a week, non-stop. Then the question you ask is, well, shit, what if you got something to do? What if you're out of town? What if you had an emergency? How do you do it? And to be honest, I actually make filler videos to kind of fill content for the days, let's just say I am out of town, or I know something's coming up, that I create content ahead of time. And you could call it more like filler videos, just to kind of talk about things generally, right? It doesn't have to be very specific, but at the same time, it's still content. So it doesn't feel like you miss a beat, and I don't miss a beat either, right? And I always mess around and say, hey, there's a rip in the time continuum, right? When I hint that, that means I'm going out of town on vacation or something, right? I'm going out of town. You won't see me for a few days, so there's a rip in the time continuum, right? The rip in the time line, the time stream, right? The course of the crypto muscle network goes in one direction, but now there's a split in the timeline because it's going off in a different direction right now, and it's going to reconvene at some point, right? I kind of mess around like that every time I've done that, which has been a few times. It hasn't happened too much. Most recently, it was early April. It was no, it's more like mid-April. It was like around April 7th for about, man, I would say it was about a week, almost 2 weeks of that rip in the time continuum, because all I gotta say was I had a lot of things I had to handle at that time, and I handled it. And then I came back on and reconvened and re-emerged and merged the timeline back to where I am. And so that reminds me, by the way, next week, well, this coming week, how about that? This coming week, there's going to be a rip in the timeline continuum once again. Alright? So from Friday on, that rip in the timeline continuum is going to happen. And so from there, I'll probably be doing general content. Nothing's too specific, unless I really have to jump on and kind of just create something on the fly while I'm, off the timeline. And I might have to do that to throw it in. That's fine. I could do that too. I've done that before, actually. In my early days on crypto YouTube, right? Early days, 2019, early 2019. I actually did on location in Hawaii. When I was out of town in Hawaii for I think I was there almost 2 weeks. I actually did on location in Hawaii videos. That's what I did, and that was cool. It was different. It was cool, and I handled that. I was in Maui at that time, and I really like Maui a lot too. If I had to pick an island, Oahu's cool, and but Maui's better. I don't know. I just like it, and I've gone back to Maui a few times now, right? More than Oahu. If you were to pick an island in Hawaii, right, among the several islands they got. But yeah, I actually did a live on location type videos, which is pretty cool, and kind of kept it around the same format, around the 15-minute format, and just went about it that way and posted it, boom, just like that. And so I try not to do that if I don't have to. I try to just, if I'm out of town, I'm out of town. I got my content filled. That's what I try to do. But like I said, if I had to do something on location because there's really something of relevance, then I'll definitely jump in and do it live, right? And speaking of which, also, let's see, today, at the time of this recording, is now Sunday morning now, but Saturday. So next Saturday, all right, next Saturday, I'm eyeing the date. Let me see here. So it'll be the 23rd, all right. I'm actually going to be in Southern California. I'm leaving Friday morning, and I'll be in Southern California for nearly a week. And so I'm planning on going to do what I say I was going to do, which is going here, right? Which is Bonanza. And being that Bonanza, all right, it's a hedge fund company that they say they do. The president and co-founder is Sarabia here, and Paz is the CEO and co-founder as well. And what drew my attention to this is the location of it, being that I'll be in Southern California next week. Let me see here. I gotta pull up the PDF here. Nope, that's not the PDF. That's the back office. Wow. I'm still logged in the back office. That's cool. And 547 lifetime. Okay. Wow, I'm not even doing like an update yet, but that's cool. All right. Oh, no, I'm not trying to do an update on this, but where is the PDF of this thing? I gotta look for the PDF. Where is it at? Oh, here we go. Let's see here. There it is, right here. Santa Monica Boulevard, Beverly Hills. So since I'll be in Southern California next week, I was able to work things out, and the only day I'm really going to be anywhere near this area in Southern California, because I plan on being in Orange County and south. I plan on being in Orange County and even further down south into San Diego. Planning around to going to this specific location. Saturday would be the best day for me to even go about going this way, because Sunday and Monday I'll be in the San Diego area, and Tuesday I'll still be in Orange County. So Friday I'll be in Orange County. Saturday I'll be in Orange County, but I'll be able to take a little trip up to Beverly Hills, which is about, oh man, with traffic in Southern California, man, I'll be lucky to get there in an hour, I guess. As long as traffic's not too bad. But yeah, this is where I plan on going, is to hit this corporate office to see if this thing is real, like they say they are, and what they do. And I'll record it live. I'm gonna walk up to this thing, and I'll record it walking up to the building, knocking on the door, and I'll ask ask them if it's alright if I record, and if they're fine with that. And if they're not fine with that, well then I guess I can't record them. But you at least see me walk up to the door and knock on the door and see if this thing's actually there, right? And see if all this stuff is like, if the office looks real, if it's even there, and all that stuff, right? So that's what I'm planning on doing over here and next Saturday. So I'm kind of looking forward to this, just to kind of see how real this is, right? Because you know how it is in crypto, right? Every crypto platform has a story. Every crypto platform has a place. And a lot of times their places are not really real, right? But I always say that, hey, if there's always one in California, I'm going to try to visit that place, right? And here it is. And if they ever say that, if they ever had their home base in the Bay Area, somewhere in the Bay Area, Northern California, oh, I'd be there in a heartbeat. I'd be like right there, right away. Here, it's because it's in Southern California. I kind of have to go out of my way, because from where I live to here, Southern California, Beverly Hills. Well, to Orange County, it's about 6-7 hours from my place in Northern California, and driving down to Southern California, Orange County. It's about 6 to 7 hours to get there. And so, and this actually, I would pass through here to Orange County. But the only reason why, every time I go to Southern California for years now, dating back to because I got friends that live down there too, probably since the last 15 years. I visit friends, I go places. Found a neat middle ground spot would be Orange County, because it's kind of central to where you want to go, right? Of all these places to go to, places to eat, right? And all that. It's kind of central, right? Because you go up kind of northwards or northwestwards, whatever. That's going into LA, right? Beverly Hills, LA. You go north. That's kind of going into like different areas of like I guess LA County, San Fernando Valley, and there's places to go and eat and hang out. You go down east. You're going now into the Inland Empire, and there's places that go hang out and eat as well. And then you go down south, and then that's going into like places like San Diego, and of course there's places to eat and hang out as well. So it's kind of central, and that's why I've always liked picking Orange County as the place to kind of stay at. So it's a central place, a location to go visit friends, because they're in different directions. I got friends that live in San Diego. I got friends that live northwards. I got a friend in Pasadena. I got a friend that lives a little bit further up, even north of that. So the whole point of it is that it's something like this is out of the way. So coincidentally, I was able to plan a trip to go down here, because at first I wasn't able to plan this kind of trip, and I had a different place to go in mind. But then when I counted off the days, like, oh shit, I actually have this amount of time off, I think we could make this trip happen. So planned out a SoCal trip, and then as I had the SoCal trip planned, I was like, oh, holy shit, you know what? This can be squeezed into that SoCal trip. And so that's why I was like, I'm going to do this. And so it'll be cool, just to see what happens, and that's what I'm looking forward to with this whole thing. And, that's all we can do is we just do it. So that's the plan next Saturday. Yeah, so there's going to be no sort of Musclecast or Livestream next week. But hopefully I could report something back. And at the same time, I'm trying to gear up for something of a live stream or so. Um, Man, I hope I could get it launched in August. But I think I finally figured out what I want to use. And all I got to say is the live streaming software, there's so many of them and it's kind of complicated. And all I got to say is the timing was good of upgrading my computer because my other one, that became shit and shit hit the fan. And when I tried to get that set up for live streaming, the hardware was kind of outdated to where it could not support doing a live stream. I was like, holy shit! It was barely doing enough for me to do these sort of videos, whether I do it in a podcast or just my general 15-minute, 2-second videos. And so I was like, shit. But then my computer starts becoming shit, and I was like, oh man, now I got to shop for a new computer. And so when I did that, I was able to, make it the latest edition of a lot of stuff that there is currently out there in the market, And I'm like, cool. Like when it comes to going down to the logistics of my computer, like for example, processing speed, and the type of processor it has, and top of the line. I was like, man, I'm gonna build this thing out, like, boom, and that's what I did. So it's pretty exciting. Can't wait. But yeah, so lots of exciting stuff for this sort of, I guess you could say, second half of the year for me. Since new computer, live streaming, that's kind of the next step in the crypto muscle evolution, and that's where I'm at with everything, and I just continue to pump out the videos. I'm 3,000 plus and counting now, and this is actually 3 years on YouTube now for me, which is cool too. So yeah, pretty happy about that, and time flies. 2019, I was just trying to just get myself established, and I believe by the end of the year, of all people that came into my life, Oracle came into my life and was like, I was just like, wow, being able to be in the same conversation, same room with Oracle is actually pretty cool to have. That we did a collaboration video, and it was great. I can't believe that I'm able to be in that same room with the Oracle, and being able to be in the same conversations throughout these years with YouTubers, I guess of the past, because I don't really see them around YouTube anymore. But I was in the same room with various YouTubers, not necessarily in a room physically, but just in the same vicinity in terms of whether it's chats or live streams or that sort of thing. Being able to go about things in that way with several YouTubers that I would call my peers, right? And at the same time, being able to trash the ones that are trash, and being able to get support throughout the whole community in regards to all that. Because I came into this space to be able to make things happen, kind of change the way things were going in this space. Because you get tired of the bullshit that goes on, right? And that's the thing I got tired of, and I wanted to be different and be, not that cookie cutter YouTuber, and I don't know, stuff I say all the time, right? This is stuff that comes from the mind, and this is what I purely think. I don't try to be fake and come up with a bunch of crap, because some of these guys are so full of shit. Like those cash. I mean, the worst is the cash effects YouTubers, right? All those YouTubers, and a lot of them are, they're not. You don't see the big YouTubers on that stuff anymore, right? The bigger ones, the more established ones on there anymore, right? You notice that they all kind of just fell off or got away from talking about it. But back then, there were several notable YouTubers talking about it. A lot of them. And all of a sudden now it's a big deal now. It's, you don't want to talk about it no more. Whereas I just transcended. I just kept going the whole time. Good and bad, I still talk about it. I mean, the latest edition talked about, for example, because I do it every Saturday. Talked about how there's still nothing going on with, despite having their little, bullshit virtual card, never card, whatever you want to call it, that Cash FX is still not paying since January, and that's a fact. And if anybody wants to debunk that, well, prove it to me. Because none of you guys are going to prove it to me out there as I take another swig of grape raspberry sparkling ice. Man, see, this is stuff. See, I'm not going to drink alcohol on the air. I'm not going to, do stupid stuff like that. What? Because I want to be edgy and cool, No, because, I got a physique that I'm trying to maintain, and, I got to be careful what I put in my body, and alcohol would not do me any good to my body, right? And there's other things I drink that's better for me, that I would rather drink, than alcohol and things like that. I'm not a beer guy, but here's something for you guys. I'm not telling you guys what I do now, but I can tell you what I did in the past. And all I gotta say is, if I was still at my old job now, which was my past, and I did sales back then for a beer company distributor in the Northern California region, and it was a lot of hustle, but the pay was just straight garbage. I mean, for the amount of work you got to do and the amount of hustle you got to do, and you're getting paid on salary, you get incentives and stuff, but no OT, and you put in a lot of OT for this sort of work and business that you're in. It's like, wow. And let's just say if I still had that job, which I left in 2015, and it was still present day, and COVID came around, and that's where I really took off in crypto, like big time for me, I would have quit that job in a heartbeat. But found a new career, alright, that all I gotta say is the reason why I haven't left this career, because being able to get to where I'm at now in crypto, with credit, always going to credit Oracle for my success and everything I do. I mean, I couldn't have done it without following the legendary Oracle, right? Always going to be thankful for that, and that's that, right? But the only reason why I haven't left my job is because there is a pension at the end of this career that I'm in. And so with this pension, well, you know what a pension is, right? A pension is you can get paid out in retirement, right? You put in the time. At the end of that time is retirement, and you're still going to get paid in retirement, as if it's your regular salary, right? Who wouldn't want that? Pensions are really hard to come by these days, and more entities. I'll just say it like that because I don't want to. If I start, I guess consolidating the the organizations and all that, then you might figure out what I'm doing. But entities are doing away slowly but surely, doing away with pensions. All right, and so when you're able to get a pension job, you hold on to that baby and you ride that thing out as hard and as long as you can till the end. All I gotta say is I wish I found it sooner. All right, not that I wasn't trying in the first place, but just in a different way. And I wish I found it sooner. But hey, you know what? Things happen for a reason, and I'm at where I'm at today because things happen for a reason, right? And so that's the reason why I haven't quit. Because a lot of people ask me, how come you don't just quit your job and you're doing this? You sound like you're doing pretty well, and I've done pretty well. But you always want to do better, right? You don't get satisfied, right, with what you do or get complacent. You still strive to do better than what you did yesterday, right, or the day before that, or even last year, right? You still want to do what you did, but better. You always want to improve, right? And that's the hustle that I'm in when it comes to crypto, right? Yeah, I've had some great hits, right? And some misses, but at the same time, I'm not going to just sit back and be like, yep, I did it. Nah. You got to keep that shit going and going and going, and that's what I'm doing. I just keep it going and flowing, right? Pumping iron and pumping crypto is what I do day in and day out because, one, I just got the drive. I really enjoy all this a lot. It's, if anything, pumping iron, it's kind of taking a step back just a bit because I used to be a lot more dedicated when it comes to pumping iron, but it's so hard now because I put so much time into crypto that it's kind of cut into my pumping iron time that I used to dedicate it to in the past. And I don't know if COVID, when it hit, was a blessing or not a blessing because on the one hand, it hurt me in terms of gym performance and all that and pumping iron. But at the same time, I took off. I mean, big time. COVID 2020 had me take off big time to where I'm at today. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword, like you want to have everything good, but one thing I had to like really, I was forced to take a step back on because they closed the gyms and all that stuff at that time. And so what I do, I had all this extra time, so I started to put more time into crypto. And man, all I gotta say is it's been great so far to where I'm at now. And so with that, all I gotta say is with this whole COVID stuff. All right, since we're talking about COVID, real quickly, it first hit, early 2020, right? Did not have COVID at all until this year, 2022, when it hit me pretty good. And so all I gotta say is glad I didn't take the shot. That's all I gotta say. I'm so adamant about taking a COVID shot. I don't care, and I will not do a COVID shot. But I just wanted to put that out there. I'm not going to go into the political things unless you want me to. But I'll leave it at that. Maybe on the live stream we could talk about. I don't know. But I'm not going to go into it here. I'm just kind of laying it out there as a general statement, and that's it. All right. So other than that, this recording should come out better than the last time I did it. And so I hope you enjoyed this one. And more to come, right? More Musclecast, and eventually more, or the live stream will be coming on, the muscle stream, or however, the muscle. We'll figure out the name of that. But it's going to be along the lines of Crypto Muscle, right? And yeah, so other than that, I hope you enjoy it. Like I said, check out my Telegram group. Check out my channel. Subscribe to it. All right. Other than that, I'll see you in the next one.